A top Hezbollah commander, Ibrahim Aqil, has been targeted as part of the latest Israeli airstrikes on the Lebanese capital, Beirut. That's according to security sources who've been speaking to the Reuters news agency. The Lebanese Health Ministry reports at least 8 people have been killed and 59 injured. Well, the strikes come days after a wave of attacks on pagers and walkie-talkies that left 37 people dead in Lebanon. Now, it's reported by sources in Israel the intended victim of those airstrikes was the Hezbollah operations commander. It isn't immediately clear if he was killed in the strikes that hit a southern suburb of the capital, Beirut. Well, let's bring in our international correspondent, John Sparks, for more on this. So, John, what more do we know about the target of these airstrikes?
Yeah, hi, Kamali. Well, it's been reported by the news agency Reuters, quoting 2 security sources, that a top Hezbollah commander called Ibrahim Aqil has been killed by the Israelis. He has been wanted by both the Israelis and the Americans. The Americans said that he was involved in the 1983 US embassy bombing. There was a large bounty on his head. If he has been killed, it is another significant security breach for Hezbollah. The organization, it seems, completely unable to protect both its members and in this case, if it turns out to be true, if it's confirmed, unable to protect their senior commanders as well. Let me tell you what else we know. It was a residential building that was hit in a suburb of Beirut called Dahia. It's in the southern suburbs. It's controlled by Hezbollah. Significant number of supporters in that suburb support Hezbollah. The building was leveled, was destroyed. The Lebanese Health Ministry saying 8 people killed, 59 people injured. And there are pictures now emerging from the scene of chaos, of dust, of rubble, of destroyed cars, of ambulances trying to get into the site. And it is very densely populated, this area. I think you could probably picture the scene. I can tell you over the last 24 hours, the Israelis have conducted more than 100 airstrikes, more than 100. In southern Lebanon and one in Beirut. This is the first time they have hit Beirut, the capital of Lebanon, since the end of July, when they assassinated another senior Hezbollah commander called Fuad Shakur. And you know, in this conflict that both sides have been waging since last October, there is an unwritten rule that both sides try to avoid large population centers. That seems to be falling apart. Hezbollah have been approached. They have been asked if this commander, Ibrahim Aqil, has been killed, assassinated. They haven't confirmed it, but they have said that they are searching the site.
So, look, John, give us a sense, you're in Beirut, of how this is affecting sort of the wider public and how Lebanese society is responding. Of course, Hezbollah is not all of the Lebanese government. Is there any expectation that there could be a response or words said from the rest of the Lebanese political class?
Well, the ethnic and religious makeup in this country is both complicated and diverse. Hezbollah are the largest non-governmental actor in this country, the most powerful politically and militarily, arguably, but they are not Lebanon. Lebanon is highly diverse. Christian, Druze, Sunni Muslims, as well as Shia. Hezbollah makes up most of its support from Shia Muslims. So it's a complicated picture, and certainly there will be people who won't like what Hezbollah is doing, fighting this war against Israel, these border clashes, which for the most part have been tit-for-tat strikes since last October the 8th. But it does seem to be coming closer to Beirut, doesn't it? And I think that will make everybody feel uncomfortable. This is a country that has massive economic, massive political problems as well. It doesn't actually have a government. It has a caretaker government. It's very hard to run at the moment. This isn't what most people want. They don't want airstrikes from Israel. They don't want a major conflict either with Israel when people are just trying to put food on the table. So no, I don't think it's going to be welcomed by most people in Lebanon.
And John, look, while we have you as well, and while those unconfirmed reports are still there that it's Ibrahim Aqil that has been killed in this targeted strike, what do we know about this individual and why the Israelis would want to target him in this way?
He is a senior Hezbollah commander, so de facto he would be on the Israeli kill list. We know that both the Israelis want him, the Americans do as well. He is thought to have been involved in the team that bombed the US embassy back in 1983. There is a large bounty on his head, $7 million. So the Israelis will have been tracking him, I am sure, for a very long time. If the Reuters news agency is right, if their security sources are right, it would seem that they were successful. And I should say it has been confirmed by Israeli media sources that they were seeking to assassinate this individual. They have a track record. They took out another senior commander, the number 2 military commander in Hezbollah called Fouad Shakur at the end of July. But as I said, there has been an unwritten rule in this conflict that both sides avoid major population centers. And I think people are going to ask, they're certainly going to say that this is an escalation, a major escalation. I think people are going to ask whether these unwritten rules are beginning to break down.